We are very fortunate today to have amongst us Jal and Dolly Dastoor. As we all know, Jal has been a vice president of this center, and Dolly had been a secretary of this center.
Joint.
Sorry?
Joint.
Joint secretary. Okay, joint secretary. Sorry, joint secretary of the center. And they have done tremendous work for the center. We are very fortunate. And I suppose they are perhaps the only ones who have been associated with the Baba activities connected with the center before the center came into being.
In Bombay.
In Bombay, yes, in Bombay. So I would like to ask Dolly first as to whatever that she may remember as the pre-center, that is pre-25th Feb 1962 days, how the center came into being, where the meetings were being held.
I really don't recollect the exact year, but it must be around early 50s that we came into contact with we were like a Baba group, and we used to meet at Anwali's place for Baba's birthday or some other program, and whatever. When Baba used to send some messages, we would collect at some place and then get the messages from Baba. But then we came to know that. What was that? Yeah. Then we came to know of that Soraji Sikharpuria. He sent out a message that those who are interested, we would like to meet together at my place, which was near Kalba Devi and between Kalba Devi and Dhupitala. It was master building or some master road or something like that. I don't remember. I think you'll have to go and check the place out, because that building must be still there. And it was a small room on the third floor, if I remember correctly, or maybe on the second even, that we used to sit in a room where there was bales of cotton cloth, all around, and they were stacked one over the other to make room for all of us to sit. And we used to just, not much of singing I've ever heard there, but at some point, somebody would ask, "What is Baba doing today?" Or has someone met Baba this time? What did he say? Or something. They would just read out to us, or they would just tell us. And at the time, I was not so much interested in talking. Now I talk too much. Jal was definitely one of the early ones who would accompany us.
How often were these meetings held?
It was once a week. Once a week. And it was on a Sunday or maybe on Saturday even. And they used to change it according to Saurabhji's engagements. He may be going out on that day or something. Then when it was not possible for him to hold the meeting. So that was the thing I remember, the earlier days.
How did this idea to have a center came along? To whom did it come, and how did the whole thing went about? What did whosoever told Baba, and what Baba had to say about it? Can you just
I will tell you one thing. That, first it was
Suraj.
our Sikharpuri and Gazwani, who were the people, who were
Instrumental.
all the time, and they had this idea of having a center. So they went to Baba and said, "Baba, we would like to have a center." And Baba immediately said, "You're talking about center? There'll be so many things, people will have different ideas of
How to run a center.
how to run the center." And the best one was Baba would say, and you will fight. And these were
His gestures.
his gestures of, that you will fight. And that was the thing. And then somehow, and then next thing was paisa. What are you going to do with the money? That time, 39,000, 40,000 was a very big thing, So Baba said, what about the money? Because he had good amount of experience
From other centers.
from other centers of what happens and all that, which will not go into.
No, you should.
So then it was
It's a
better
fact.
that we talk about money, and both of them said that Baba, we have got some good support. But in any case, if there is anything left over, if we feel that there is some leftover,
Some
we
money
we
coming,
just
not
cannot, we will see to it that we give that money. And Baba said, if that is the case,
then I'm relieved.
all right, let's go ahead.
But one thing was, I remember that Sorabi said that place was good enough for 15, 20 people. And we couldn't accommodate. So that's why they said we must find a bigger place. And Gajwani came up with this building.
Can you say something more about why we selected this or how we selected?
It was because it is a central position.
Okay.
People can come by car or and can by train or bus or. So that's what it was, and it is still a real good location.
Was it under construction or is it?
It was under construction.
It was under construction.
Yeah, it was under construction.
Okay. And what about? On what date was it started, and why was it started on a particular day or something?
Yeah, it was almost to be finished, this building,
The building.
and we had this hall, big hall, no partition or anything. Nothing was there on that first day when we came here for. And this site was not even completed. The walls and everything was not completed. And there was, and Baba suggested that Surabji asked Baba, why don't you come and inaugurate? So Baba said, I don't know, but do it.
The date was selected by
By
Baba himself.
Yeah.
The 25th February 1962, his birthday, should be the inauguration.
Yeah.
And what was the message that he sent, and whom did he send from there?
He had sent, at least to my knowledge, it is a Malani Shanta Devi was sent by Baba for the inauguration. And then this message was given: make Mayor Hall the house of all hearts that seek to hear my message of love and truth.
Right.
That was the Baba. And this was done, means this,
Telecom.
actually the work was done by Nauroji Papa, Nauroji Dada Chanji. And they were, I tell you, we used to call them all grand old men of Bombay. Sorabji was there, this one, and who else
Was
Jal Beg
Guruvara.
Yeah.
was there.
He was also a very good worker.
Who else? Aspandia Kaka was there. Nauroji's brother was there. I mean, there was 6, 7 people who would always be sitting. And Minu Desai,
Yes.
my real good friend. But I tell you, he really loved us. I'll tell you what. And then Gajwani suggested to Baba that my son, who was in Japan for his business and all that, he's getting married. So I would like to give you a treat to all of your Baba family in Mirazar. So Baba said, but I would much prefer that you give it to my lovers on that day when this hall is going to be inaugurated. So that was a very beautiful thing. And I tell you, the food was excellent. We really, really enjoyed it all. And on that day, we had to take out the shoes and come here. All the shoes were missing. And because it was Baba's birthday, so they were all wearing the best of their new shoes. And it really and we said, okay, it happened for many, many Baba lovers. Huh? They had to go home without their shoes.
Yeah.
But
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Sure.
And the best thing was, it was Gajwani. Essentially said, no more food to be taken into the hall. If you want, you can keep it outside.
stand outside.
Or outside here on the gallery and all that. But on this premises, there will be no more food to be eaten here. And I still remember his words very well, because today also we have that same thing, and it's very good that
We are still observing that
We have
kind
our
of
tea
a-
and
yeah.
everything outside in the balcony. Right?
We always
Yeah. Now on the inauguration day itself, I believe this photograph was already in place. So anything you can narrate about this photograph as well as the cutout that we see behind you.
Yeah, the cutout, yeah.
Okay,
Cutout came a little later.
Yeah. Okay.
This was
Yeah,
not there at
yeah,
first. You know, one thing I
Called Darbar Pose.
yeah, it is called the Darbar pose, and it was taken by the photographer Rege.
Right.
That you know the whole. You should read that whole story,
Yes.
which Bal Natu has given it to us. It is a real good story how it came into being. And then Sorabji had a photo studio near Dadar, and this was, I think there were three photographs of the same kind. But this photograph specially because Baba said, how should I pose for this photograph? You know, this photographer from Pune is coming and he said he has taken all the politicians and he has taken all the great men and this and that. So let me look nice. So where shall I put this hand of mine and how will I put this leg of mine? You know, he would be asking all the Mandli before the photographer came. And the Baba's Mandli would also say, Baba, you look always so grand, you know, you don't need to pose. No, I should look good, you know. So there were three photographs, and from these three photographs, our Sorabji Sikharpuria chose this photograph. The others are good, but this has a little smile on his face, and the feet are there. The beautiful feet are there, which everyone would love to touch it. And he got this colored through his own people who are doing the photography work and coloring the photographs. And
actually Baba said that I've given so much of
poses.
pose, my palms are folded and other things. I was giving so much, So then the guy who was taking the photograph said, "So
Suggest.
may I touch you up?"
Adjust your
He says, "Yeah, why not?" So he comes and then he brings up, and then Baba's hand and all that. It was his idea. So how it to be taken, and this is how it all sprang out. That this is the way.
Now, what about the cutout? Of course, it came in much later, but what do you remember? How did this cutout happen to land at the Bombay Center?
I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
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 You know?
Yeah.
Huh?
Which year?
I don't remember. It was at Guru Prasad.
Yeah.
It was at Guru Prasad.
It must be after
Eh.
62, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was at Guru Prasad, and when we went there in the morning, somebody suggested, "Do you know? You see so many Babas. Come. And we went up the stairs. They took us from the back up the stairs. It was a little small attic-like thing. And we could see all this were placed like this all around. So it looked like Baba is everywhere, And we were so happy with it, We couldn't even take our eyes off all this. And then Baba announced to Gajwani and Sorachi, why don't you take one of this?
Now, when the center got started and Baba asked, what about the money? So, what was the practical, aspect which Baba suggested in terms of membership fees and all that?
Yeah.
Shall I?
Yeah.
Why not you?
Well, Baba said something like this here. That, what will you do after getting all the center and this and that? There will be something to
Maintain
you
it.
have to pay.
Yeah.
Have the money.
Maintain this.
So we have to have.
Case, Baba said, all right, for the families, I will give you, who will pay what,
So somebody read out the name.
and all that. He said, all right, 1 rupee per month or something like that. Somebody 4 NS per month, somebody 8 NS per month. And that one,
I still remember paying 12 rupees a year.
That was, I think, the full fee.
Yeah.
That 1 rupee was the maximum. Full
Maximum.
fee that was.
Like 3 rupees was that.
3 rupees
Much more.
was that.
Yeah.
Better.
I think the Dada Chanji family, they were considered that they have more money than
Okay.
anyone else. So they were given 3 rupees. Yeah. And
Sorry. Good. I believe the cost of the flight came to some 37,600. Not cost. The collection was 37, and the balance
balance was
was split between
Yeah.
Kishan Chand Gajwani and
Sorabji's second point. Because they had promised Baba
Right,
that we will fill up the gap.
right. Now we jump to 1967 when we had this exhibition.
Yeah.
Can you give some background about that exhibition, how it came about, and what was Baba's
Reaction.
input in that?
You know, when this idea came into being, you know, this was international exhibition.
Yeah.
Means US had the stall, everyone, means all other countries had also the stalls. And we thought it better that why not we do something, you know. It was all decided in this hall, how we should work it out. And at that time, who was the one who, then we said, we need money, first of all. So how much you will give, how much you will give. So who started? So
Maybe I will tell you one thing. You know, we were all sitting down here, and I think it was Sorabji or somebody, you know, asked for some money.
no, he broached the subject that now we have to collect the funds
Yeah.
for this exhibition.
And out of everyone, you know, it was Kaushik Khan,
Who was the first one?
the first one to say, I will pay 500 rupees. And once, when she said 500 rupees, you know, at that time, 500
Yes,
rupees
yes.
was something really big. So that's why everyone started telling us, what am I going to
If I say less than 500, it will look bad.
Yeah.
So they would all came up with little more and still yet more, like Baba would say.
But then, I think it was somewhere about 12,000 or something more than 12,000 rupees we spent. So again, the same thing.
And Baba called
It
you.
was Kishan Chand, Singapore, Kishan Chand, our
No,
not Jalbai,
Kishore.
our
Kishore was there.
Kishore and
And
myself. We were there.
they were called to Mirazar.
We
Okay.
were called, and I thought that now, because I had a very big grouse with that, you know, because in 62 people, Baba said,
65.
because of something, you know, Baba said, I don't know when we get
This chance again to bow down to me.
darshan.
That's what Baba told Jal.
To him.
Baba told Jal that. So he was always worried.
And then I said, this is the way, you know, I'm going.
This is the chance that you're going to have it.
But then, as it done,
As we
done out,
entered, and as you entered Mirazar. Huh?
when he came to Meradad, there was nobody stood, bow down, or do anything,
Not to touch Baba.
nothing, no embracing, nothing whatsoever. Baba wants you to be there with him only for few minutes. And that's it. So as it is, you know, and as we
Sit down.
were all four there, I just I get my
Pen.
diary and get
pen.
something, write it down. Baba said, what are you? Nothing is to be done. I'm just going to give you some questions and you just, first of all, where is the money?
Coming from. The
You
first
see,
question.
He had that kind of problem, you know, with the money. And that's why he was very, very particular about money. And Baba said, so then Swarajji and both of them, Baba, as far as money is concerned, don't worry, you know, we have got promises and all that, and you'll be able to help. Baba said, that's that. Then there was one or two more questions, then Baba said, this is it. Now you go out and get everything, you know,
Arranged with Arish.
play with Eraj.
And Rano also, I think. Rano.
Eraj and Ram. Because Rama was, you know, sort of. And Eraj, Rama was there. And as I say, after half an hour, you know, Baba sends a word with
Dr. Goyal.
Dr. Goyal. Dr. Goyal asked Eraj, Baba wants to know how much time will it take? Why aren't they not gone? Because he was in strict seclusion. Why haven't they gone? And yet it said, please tell Baba there are so many things we have not
To discuss.
touched. Yeah. And we will take some more time. Another half an hour. And then finally, when Edith said that this is getting too much, and Edith must have shouted out something. And Edith said, well, if that is the case, tell Baba that they will have to come back. They will have to come back because we can't, because there are so many things to do. And that was the time when that book, Who is Mayor Baba? Questions and Answers. That was it. And
Baba.
this was the book when the questions were asked by Baba and answers were also
Given by Baba.
given by Baba. So this is the best thing that we have to see. And it was created by our Jimmy,
Jim Mist.
Jim Mysteries, So
And it was told.
and there were so many other things, and especially which photographs should be taken.
Baba.
And now we tell about
Yeah. Baba said, how will you place me? With which photographer you will say, oh, this is Mayor Baba? And then Baba said, I think, Rano, don't you think that this painting, let them take this and tell them to bring it back. But one thing you should remember, in the very early years, people were so enthusiastic, they used to come to the center. And then later on, hardly 2, 3, 4, 5 people would come. And Saurabhji was so, that we've spent so much money for this hall, and nobody wants to come. And he wrote a letter to Baba. And Baba gave a beautiful reply. You go, you are going there, no? Even if you are there, I'll be there.
Wow.
So just remember that 1 or 2 gather in my name. I'm always present there. That's what Baba said.
Wow.
So our center is really blessed by Baba. He always said that. And after that, people just started trickling in.
And I also believe Baba had sent a letter through Airaj stating that this is the main center so far as Bombay is concerned. And if there are any suburban centers that are being opened, they need to
Cooperate
with us and all that.
Yeah, it was so. It was so. Okay. Avatar Baba ki jai.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Baba. Thank you, Baba.